Alright, welcome to what is probably going to be like the first short walkthrough video of cosplay prop really. This is the cosplay corner, as it will. And I got two pictures here that you can see of before I started the process. This is something that a couple people found in the back of the workplace, back parking lot, right? Somebody just left it out, finders keepers, I suppose. And so I decided to take it home, clean it up, and turn it into something. Use it for a Templar cosplay weapon of some sort. And it looks like a hoe of some sort, or something that you would use to break up roots, hard earth, etc. But I like to think of it as a sort of halberd. So I kind of start with some stuff here, some simple rust stain remover to kind of get off some of the outer layers, because there were a few layers on this. I had to do this repeatedly, as well as use like baking soda and vinegar, use boiling water as well. It was a lot of rinse and repeat, spray it, let it sit for 10 minutes, scrub, over and over again. But we'll see at the end. I think the result came out pretty well. Like, it's a lot cleaner, but it doesn't look perfect. It has still like a weathered, worn look that you'd want for a Templar who's been traveling around the countryside or on a long campaign. It's a battle-worn weapon. So it came out pretty well. So yeah, this is basically a quick cut. It's been sitting about, what did I say, 10 15 minutes. And I used a few other things like a simple scrub pad that you find on the sponge. I used steel wool at one point. I used a few different types of sandpaper in conjunction with, of course, the rust removers. I think at one point I even dremeled away a fine bit of the blade to try and kind of sharpen it up and also get rid of stuff I couldn't get off my hand towards the end. But yeah, we're just working off the outer layers here. Yep, and it was a real pain because I'll admit I didn't exactly know what I was doing. Like, I had a general idea, you know what I mean? So this was very much also a learning experience. It's kind of like, I have an idea of how rust removal works, but not like the specific sciences of it. Let's try a few methods, uh, see what works, see what doesn't. And later on, you'll see the hot water method really did work. Like, it was amazing. I was actually very impressed with how well it worked. And also, the limitations of not having a solid workstation. I'm having to do this all over a bucket. Hey, improvise, adapt, and overcome, I suppose. And what am I got here? Oh yeah, this is where I start adding things like the baking soda and the vinegar. So I wipe away a lot of the rust remover elements using just some basic water, kind of resetting the surface of the blade, because I don't want any sort of other reacting chemicals on there when I put on vinegar and baking soda. I don't want any residual rust remover to be acting with it. Yeah, so we kind of sprinkle it on there. I can think I already hear something reacting, sizzling in the background here. Yeah, there we go. Just kind of lightly pouring it on. And it doesn't show it here. Yeah, I kind of just poured it on and started scrubbing. In my second go around, I actually packed it on a bit more tightly and a bit more evenly to allow it to more evenly coat the blade, and I let it sit a bit longer as well. So that was something else, again, all part of the learning experience, trying different altercations to similar methods. And that scrub pad right there, again, only good for like the outer layer. At a certain point, it was not cutting it. It was basically doing nothing at a certain point. Yeah, I think here, yeah, we're gonna, yeah, pack it in, smooth it over the, not just the sort of the face of the blade, but actually, or the face of the metal, but the actual edge. I'm trying to work it over to the edge itself, and around the red part, there was quite a bit of buildup there too. Right at where the, basically the mounting, the red area meets the actual blade. Just packing it into that crease there. I think I had the spray bottle with vinegar. Yeah, it helped more evenly spread it instead of just pouring it. That's another thing, because pouring it swept away too much of the baking soda. So as it fizzed, it kind of swept off the blade and into the bucket. See here, I know, pretty crude cut, no transition. You can tell I had let it sit, on the blade instead of just pouring it off. And here you can see some coming off. Again, not really too much. It still is a pretty dark, sort of tarnished color to it. It's mostly, again, removing some very loose rust and dirt sediments that are kind of built up on there. But I suppose that's the most important thing. It allowed me to get to the base of the blade, which I think is why the hot water methods later on was actually so effective, because I had kind of removed all the miscellaneous, little elements on there. So that was, in hindsight, it turned out to be a good thing. It worked out. As long as the final product comes out all right, I think, as long as you've learned something from it, as a as a self-taught, I don't even know what to call myself, cosplayer. I'm not even like an official cosplayer or professional, but self-teaching, it's just part of the experience. Now here is where I basically boiled a ton of water, right, and mixed it with some vinegar and some of that rust remover. So I basically took it outside and made this solution. So it's a hot sort of rust removing solution. And right there, look at that. Yeah, here now I'm pulling out the sandpaper. And you can see now it's kind of turning into this nice blue, blue-gray. Just watching this is like very satisfying. It's like one of those try not to get satisfied videos. It's just like cleaning away. I mean, that is like a night and day difference there. And there's the final product. So, I got it out in the sun, letting it kind of dry a bit, and really getting a good look at it when it's dried off. The water's not really affecting coloration there. And then the final thing is I just hit it with some WD-40, sprayed it, and then wiped it down. And that is basically it. So thank you for joining me on this video. If there's any pointers on this type of thing, please let me know. And if you want to see any other future little walkthrough videos,